The alternative type of this speech is how to make LinkedIn more than just a list of people you just sort of know. Because a lot of us have been using LinkedIn for maybe a few years now, and we're not quite sure why we're using it, but somebody tells us we should use it, and we get lots of invites, and we thought, oh, we'll better sort of accept that invite, and sort of take the time to invite me. And you're building up sort of a, maybe 50, 60 followers or network connections, and you're not really sure what to do with them. Why are you using LinkedIn then? Well, I'm time poor, so a tool's got to be useful to me. It really has. I don't mind using it for the sake of it. It's got to have a benefit for me. And I've laid out probably the 6 points that are most salient in my perspective. Convenient tool to make and manage connections. It is pretty good for having all your connections in and having telephone numbers and addresses, etc. Especially people that have the profiles of you. And it's more important because it's where the people are. There are now 17 million profiles on LinkedIn, a million company profiles as well. There are other networks that are used for business, like Ning and Plaxo. I think there are a couple there. But I think that you can see LinkedIn as the Facebook of its sector. It's leading the market, and that's where the people are. In this presentation, I've collected all the bits and bobs that I sort of do on a regular basis during the day, and also consolidated a lot of questions that people have asked me. Some of my colleagues in the room, some customers that I've polled. What do you really want to know about LinkedIn? And to be honest, it's about the core of LinkedIn and how to use it effectively to do business and to create wealth for yourself and for others. And to essentially make your job a bit easier without investing too much time and distract yourself from everything else you've got to do in the day. So again, I'll keep reaffirming, we're all time poor. So let me jump straight into optimising your profile. You've got 2 profiles on LinkedIn. You've got your public profile, which is what search engines can see as well as everybody else. And you've got your member profile. Now, your member profile is exactly what it says. It's only available for people who are also members in the LinkedIn network with you. Now, my profile, anybody can see my profile, but not everybody can connect with unless I want them to. So let's talk about optimising your profile then. And it's not really obvious, but it's not. Make sure your public profile setting is set to full view. Now, what full view means is all the information out there can be shared. Because if you're not sharing information about the people that you're linking with, how can people find out if it's valuable to keep linking through from you? So essentially what I'm trying to say is, people join a network in order to extend their network into your network. So you've got to have that open. Include everything you do in your profile, plus your past companies, your educational activities. So amazing how many people don't backfill LinkedIn. But in search engines, the more that you put into your profile, the more opportunity a search engine, certainly on the public profile, is going to be able to detect what you've done, who you are with those keywords, and bring you to the top of searches. And also in LinkedIn. When somebody does a LinkedIn search in your own membership profile, the more information you've got in there, the more search results you go to appear, which is very important. You can then send an invitation to connect. Now, an invitation to connect is exactly what it says. You can write and say, hello, maybe we've done some work in the past, or maybe it's a fresh connection, or maybe somebody's told you that you should talk to these people, and you can send an invitation by clicking invitation connection, putting their email address in, put a nice little note, and connecting. If you're already connected to somebody in LinkedIn, it's a good reason to touch base with them. Also, a nice little trick here is to check which of your contacts brings you and potential new connections. Essentially, because you want to reach into their networks. And I say that because I joined a group called the Yorkshire Mafia. Now, I could join it, so I live in Doncaster, even though I've got an office in Nottingham. The Yorkshire Mafia is an invitation-only group. It only invites high-level, what they see as successful people into their network. So you've got CEOs, CFOs, you've got marketing and creative directors, people who are, reasonably up on their game, got a bit of a reputation, but can add value to that group and that network within that group. Because in a group, you can exchange lots of information, and groups are very good for garnering and creating trust. I'm going to move on to introductions now, because I've got to say that I think introductions are very contextual for LinkedIn. Because why do we network? We network to get business. We network to build our networks in order that we can leverage our networks to get other business. Because Your network, you know a lot of people, but you're really interested in the people you don't actually know in your network. You're interested in reaching out into their networks. And that's why LinkedIn works really well. Coming back to this 1, 2, 3 situation, 1 is your immediate connections, 2 is the connections of their connections. You want to be looking sometimes to make connections with their connections because they've got broader networks. It's leveraging that trust, leveraging the opportunity. So, search for keywords associated with your needs. Company names of the person you want to connect with. Sounds obvious, but it works. Search results will show how many degrees of separation the person is away from you. You can access the second and third degrees to tell you. Check out the people the target is connected to, who are also in your network. Select the person you have the best relationship. Sometimes the only one because you've engaged in trust and garner trust with them on your network. They're the most likely to pass on the introduction. Then ask for the introduction through them. Now, because I think the introduction process is so important, I've actually done a step-by-step walkthrough for you, and you'll see how easy it is to do. So, here's an example. Christine wants to reach Rob, that's me, with an offer of consulting work. But Rob isn't connected to Christine, so she can't send a message to him via LinkedIn. Christine is connected to Murray, and Murray is connected to Rob. So Christine can ask Murray to introduce her to Rob, using the LinkedIn introduction tool. How does that work? Christine has done a search in the people search on the top of the page. I've turned up in the search results. She wants to make sure it's me, so she clicks on that link. There's my profile. Yeah, it's the right guy. So now she clicks on Get Introduced to a Connection. Because Murray is Christine's only connection in common with me, she can only ask Murray to make an introduction. However, if there are many more people that you've got a common connection with, it will show you a list of who would you like to connect through. So when you click on the name, it comes through to this page. As you can see, Christine is offered to write a message to Rob with her offer. So there's her message to me. I'm not going to read it out because it's there for you to read. Christine also gets the opportunity to write a note to the connection, in this case Murray, saying, well, will you pass me on? This is why I want to be connected to Rob. We give more than we take as networkers, and certainly I've seen Alan and Murray do that, but it does come back. It does come back. LinkedIn doesn't replace traditional networking or augment it. I've finished with my slides, but I want to give you a little story to end on. Talk about the auction mafia. It's got 7,000 members now. It's now transcended the web into real space. Every 2 months now it meets in Yorkshire at a venue, and it's getting 300 to 400 people turning up. The last one I went to, I found 2 suppliers and 1 piece of business that I'm going to be following up. I would never have done that. I also met a guy from 3i that I was trying to meet in the past. Didn't even know he was in the Yorkshire Mafia, but he turned up to the event. And then I went into the group, had a chat with him, and then connected with him through the group. I've got 2 Java developers. I've got a new code developer. One of my colleagues, David, over there, is connected with one of the developers I met at that networking meeting. It's got a website too now, but it realises and recognises the value of LinkedIn. So it hasn't taken and created a forum on its website. It's using LinkedIn because the off-site meetings now continue on the online. And you have a virtuous circle. And that is an exemplar of how good LinkedIn usually works. By working offline and online, you can win together. That's me done. I'd like to move into a Q&A because the Q&A is always the most interesting part of any session like this. So thank you very much.